Hi everyone, this is Erin from Sandpaper Road, and in this video I'm going to be making this cute food card using the Punny Snacks Stamp Set by Kat Scrappiness. Look how cute it is. So it's a really easy card, and if you're just a beginner starting out, you're going to love the style and the ease of this card, so stick around. For this project I'm going to be using the Punny Snacks Stamp Set by Kat Scrappiness, and I will leave links below to where you can pick this up if you are interested. Really great, lots of nice sentiments, and I love when you can put little faces on inanimate objects. So funny. So to get started, I'm using my Tim Holtz stamping platform, and I'm using a piece of 110-pound white smooth cardstock. I suppose I didn't need the stamping platform for this because the stamps are really nice, and they would have stamped fine without the platform. But I knew that I wanted to line everything up just one time and stamp it just one good time. So if I put the time into this step instead of, later, then it was going to be to my benefit. And this was the first time I ever used this stamp set. And I'm using Memento Tuxedo black ink, which is alcohol marker friendly. And it stamped really well. First time. I was really impressed. Nice, crisp images. The only reason I went back in this third time was for the sentiment. It didn't quite get good. I didn't push it good enough. Then I took off the top to clean it, and then I went back in and found the little faces that I wanted. I love those little faces. It's so funny to me. And this, I was glad I used the platform. Those faces are small, and it takes a minute to just line them up just good. So that is just so cute. I was so happy with it. I took the sound out so I could do a voiceover, but if you would have heard the original sound, I was cracking up. Now, I went in with some Spectrum Noir markers, and when I remember, I put the caps out for you so you can see the colors. But really and truly and honestly, whatever colors you want to do are just fine. I don't do much in the way of coloring. I probably just need a little bit more practice. But my rule of thumb is if I'm using like two colors, I always start with the lightest color and then just outline, just a light outline with the darker one. Then I go back over with the lighter one again. And if I'm using three colors, I kind of start with the medium one, outline with the darker one, and then go back over with the lightest one. And I know maybe that's not what everybody does. Again, I don't actually think I'm very good at it. So maybe I just need a little bit more practice. But these images were so cute that I thought, well, I'll just try with the markers and see. Also, you know what I'm going to say is that as I'm learning and practicing more with my markers, what I am learning is that hand pressure makes a huge difference. And I don't hear people say that very often in tutorials. There's a lot about the color blending and but I have learned sort of the hard way that the pressure makes a huge difference. Like I was like grinding the markers in with that same kind of pressure that I would use like with a regular marker or like a watercolor pencil even, just because that's what I'm used to doing. But it really changed the way my images looked once I let up a little bit on the pressure and just did more of like a light drag. So try that if you're new to coloring and you're not getting the results you want. It might not be the blending, it might be the pressure. And I think I'm going in, I'm still going over it. That hamburger bun just wasn't looking the way I wanted it. And the lettuce, just adding a little bit of dark blending around. Now, I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do with the fries and the drink. I really had this idea of adding some color, but I just didn't want to ruin it. I didn't want to overpower it. I went in first and added some just little soft pink cheeks. I mean, always go light first. You can always go darker. Well, I got this reddish marker And then I just went boom, 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 boom on the side with the red marker, and then I left it. And then I went with a light blue, left and down on the drink. And then boom, 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 boom over the straw with a different blue. And then that was it. And I left it. And that was the hardest thing to do. Now this is like the lightest gray I have. What does it say? IG1. And I'm outlining the entire image on all three of those images. It just needed a little something, and that's a nice way to make the image pop without taking away from the image itself. I'm telling you, showing restraint with that, with the fries and the drink, that straw, that was probably the hardest thing because I tend to be a little wild at my art table. These are some stitched rectangle dies I've had forever. Oh my goodness, I've had them forever. I think I got them forever ago on Amazon or something. But so I cut that out, and then this is a piece of wood pattern paper. Isn't that nice? It's from Moda Scrap 12 by 12 size, and I have those other stitched rectangle dies. Now I knew I wasn't going to use 12 inches of this paper. So right off the bat, I knew I was going to cut it into half and just save the half for something else. And then once I put that off to the side, then I cut the 6 by 12 piece into 6 inches by 6 inch squares. It was a little easier to work with. And then my rectangle dies, I actually could fit 2 on each sheet, which was great because then I had 5 rectangles to work with, and I like to work in odd numbers. Now here, I almost cut this out, but I left it in to explain. I was almost going to put a piece of red as the panel background, like a panel for the card, and then put the wood on top. Then I was going to use gold as a panel and put the wood on top. And then I was going to use polka dots and put the wood on top. And just none of that was the look I wanted. I just kind of wanted more of like a picnic table type look, you know, sitting outside. Just, you know, lemonade stand kind of, what do they call those, you know, where you go after like a big softball game and there's 1,000 people there trying to get an ice cream cone, you know, those, I call everything a dippy whip, just those dippy whip places, you know, that's sort of the look I wanted. And none of those other colors that sort of took away from that. So I just left it as is. This right here is going to be the look. So I put the first one down flat on the card base. And then I was looking for some foam tape, and lo and behold, I had no foam tape, which was a little disappointing. And then I almost cut this out of the video too, but I left it in just so you could see, I don't know, I guess what not to do in a weird way. But this is some fun foam sheets with no adhesive on the back. Now, you could do this 1,000 other ways than the way I did it. This was not the best way to do it, honestly. What I should have done is taken like an adhesive sheet or something and run it through. But I tried to use my ATG gun and it sticks. It's just such a pain. It doesn't stick well because it's not meant for foam like that. So, I mean, I was really struggling. But like I said, it does stick. It's just like the long way around. It would have been just 1,000 times easier if I just would have used a foam sheet or some super tacky tape or something. Now this right here, I'm adding a little bit of extra dimension just on one part, kind of like when you put sugar packets under a wobbly table to make it level. And you'll see the same thing here, because once you start adding dimension and dimension and dimension all in funny ways, then you've got to account for that dimension somehow. So again, another reason to get a nice roll of foam tape. And you can get foam tape in a lot of different places, so just kind of shop around. This was another piece of this just white foam. It's really, really thick too, and it didn't have adhesive on it, so I just used my tape. That's good. And I like the way that looked, and it was fine. Like I said, it held fine. I just should have done it a different way. So note to self, go ahead and use foam tape. And then I stuck that right in the middle. I like that. I wasn't even trying to make a middle panel, and it just happened that way. It looked really good. I put my stamp on the back, and then it did need a little bit of color, but again, I didn't want to take away from the images or the card itself, so I did use some Distress Oxide in, I think that's Broken China, and just went around the edges of the card. I chose blue instead of red because I thought it just needed to be blue. I don't even have a reason. It just needed to be blue and not red. Can you imagine if that was red? That would have looked totally different. It still needed a little bit of something, and I wasn't sure what, but I did pull out my multimedia mat, and I had some sequins from Kat Scrappiness, and I just wanted to put one on each side of that sentiment. So I used the jewel picker, and I'll leave links below to these items that I used so that you can pick them up if you're interested. This was a sort of a splurge purchase, this stamp set. I just love things with faces. It's so funny to me. I can't get over how funny that is to me. And that's my card. That looked pretty good to me. I was really happy about it. It was fun too. I went in with a little bit of Wink of Stella just to add a little shimmer that you wouldn't notice right away. Just if you would tip it, then you might be able to see the shimmer. And that's my card. Really fun. Nice. So thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to check out Sandpaper Road and Kat Scrappiness on social media. And check out the description box below for links to products and lots of other goodies. And thanks so much for watching and subscribing. Really nice. Great stamps. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.